Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Taylor Swift and Post Malone's coded Dungeons and Dragons message, which the world knows as a video called Fortnight. In my humble opinion, Taylor Swift and Post Malone's video Fortnight is actually a deeply coded message about Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons Chromatic Array and how it's depicted within Taylor Swift and Post Malone's Fortnight. But before we do that, apologies. This content is part of a playlist. You will absolutely not understand what I am saying if you don't watch all the playlist in order. You just won't have the context for it. So if you're coming in the middle, no problem. Just bounce to the description below. That'll take you to the playlist. Start at the beginning of the playlist. Also, in the description below, you'll find the link to Taylor Swift and Post Malone's amazing video, music video, Fortnight, right? And it's a music video. Like the rest of the world sees it as a music video. I see it as a synchronized, coded Dungeons and Dragons message. And I'm presenting evidence to you to convince you to see it in the same way, right? Because I think that's what it is. And I'm presenting the evidence here for that. All right. Okay. So playlist, all that, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Okay. Let's talk about D&D's Chromatic Array. So first of all, I've never used that term before. I've never talked about Dungeons and Dragons Chromatic Array. I've been thinking about it for months. I've been thinking a lot about what color is Dungeons and Dragons, right? Do you know what color Dungeons and Dragons is? You should. It has a chromatic array. Dungeons and Dragons is one set of colors. It presents itself in one set of colors. This was presented early on in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, and then it was additionally so it was presented, and then it was reconfirmed. All right. So what is the palette? The Muggles would say palette, right? But wizards, we say Dungeons and Dragons Chromatic Array. What color is Dungeons and Dragons? The palette of Dungeons and Dragons, the chromatic array of Dungeons and Dragons, is red, white, and blue, green, and black. Okay. Now, first of all, this came out in the realms of Dungeons and Dragons: Greyhawk, Kryn, Forgotten Realms. Okay. And all of that was Tiamat, right? Now, Tiamat existed across all three of these worlds, okay? Tiamat was Tiamat in the realms of Dungeons, in Forgotten Realms. Tiamat was Tiamat in Greyhawk, and Tiamat is Takesis in Kryn, okay? But Tiamat is across all of them, and Tiamat's heads, the evil chromatic dragons, are red, white, and blue, right? And that's not an accident. That is specifically to represent America. And then green and black, okay? And this was presented, this Dungeons and Dragons Chromatic Array was presented very early on. And then when Magic the Gathering came, Magic the Gathering did something very important. It said that every spell on every Magic card that would ever be printed going forward would be cast with red, white, and blue, green, and black, right? That came out, and that actually was established on Magic the Gathering, in my humble opinion, because Peter Atkinson literally copied the classic Dungeons and Dragons Chromatic Array, the set of colors, okay? And then Peter Atkinson, when he copied Dungeons and Dragons before he bought Dungeons and Dragons, I know. Okay, Peter Atkinson created the most powerful tabletop game that would ever exist, Magic the Gathering. It has crushed every single tabletop game in the world for money except maybe Monopoly, maybe. And actually, I think Magic the Gathering has way outsold even Monopoly at this point, right? And no part, not a single piece in any Monopoly game has ever sold for $2 million, right? So even if it hasn't outsold, even if Magic the Gathering has not outsold Monopoly from the perspective of total sales, it certainly has more individual, cultural, and societal impact, right? Post Malone plays Magic. Post Malone does not play Monopoly, right? Not publicly, or brag about it, or flex with it, right? It's a thing. All right, Magic the Gathering, okay? So Peter Atkinson copies, right, the he copies the Dungeons and Dragons chromatic array, in my humble opinion, and he creates and he says every spell ever cast in Magic the Gathering is going to be cast with mountain, plains, islands, forests, and swamps, right? Red, white, and blue, green, and black, okay? And then, where do you go from there, okay? Well, you continue forward from there, and where do you end up? Quite interesting, right? So then, James Wyatt comes forward, and he's like, let's connect every Magic the Gathering card ever, which are all coming from the red, white, and blue, green, and black chromatic array, and let's connect Magic Gathering to Dungeons & Dragons directly, right? And he does, right? He starts with these pamphlets for Dominaria and Kaladesh and and Ixalan. And then he's like, okay, no. He's like, no, we don't do no pamphlets, right? Like, let's stop making these little tiny little modules. Let's do D&D canon hard packs. And they did. And they connected in my humble opinion, James Wyatt connected every single Magic Gathering card that will ever be printed. If it's printed with D&D's chromatic array, it's D&D, in my humble opinion. I don't care what label you put on it, right? The secret's out, right? In my humble opinion, right? All Magic the Gathering cards are Dungeons and Dragons content, period, in my humble opinion, okay? All right. You guys have been very patient. What does this have to do with Taylor Swift's and Post Malone's Fortnight? I said this yesterday, and I was like, am I right? Is it every frame? Is literally every single frame of this video Dungeons and Dragons specific? And the answer is yes. And I'm gonna give you the evidence today. All right, every single frame of Taylor Swift and Post Malone's Fortnight is shot in only colors of D&D's chromatic array. The entire video is shot in black and white, which are both in Dungeons & Dragons chromatic array. And then one section of the video has blue and red. And actually, two sections have red. No colors that are not in the Dungeons & Dragons chromatic array exist in Fortnight. And the reason why is the entire video, every single frame of the video only contains colors from Dungeons & Dragons chromatic array. That's astounding. That means that every single shot, every single piece of every single image in Taylor Swift's and Post Malone's Fortnite video is only shot in the colors of Dungeons & Dragons. And any color that is not in Dungeons & Dragons is not in the video. And it's extremely purposeful. I think Taylor Swift did it on purpose, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Absolutely nothing more and absolutely nothing less. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.